Do not combine insurance and investment. How often have you heard this phrase? You would have heard it so many times that it could have gone engraved into your minds. Believe me, this phrase is not full truth. This is just the half truth. In this episode, I am going to discuss all aspects of this particular phrase and help you to arrive at a logical answer to this particular issue. This is NRI Money Clinic for you, and I am Dr. Chandrakant Bhatt, investment consultant and a financial planner.
NRI Money Clinic. No hype, just the right advice.
Do not combine insurance and investment. As I said, this is not 100% truth. This is half truth. How do I say this? What is the proof for this? To know the answers, you have to go back into times when the insurance industry came into India and how it developed and what happened subsequently and when did this phrase came into the general public's mind. When we dig into it, that is the time you will realize why this phrase came into existence and why I say it is not 100% truth. Indian insurance industry was monopolized by LIC for nearly 50 years. It came into existence somewhere in the 1950s and till 2000, till the private players came into the market was totally dominated by LIC. It was a monopoly. Did people really buy insurance? I don't think people really bought insurance. What people really bought was tax exemptions. People bought insurance not with the purpose of buying an insurance from calculations. Rather, they wanted to save on the taxes. That is the reason people literally bought insurance. The money back policies, the endowment policies of LICs become so popular over 50 years of monopoly, and there was no competitors at all, and it became a household name. What was really happening? The thing that was really happening was by putting money into this LIC plans or the endowment plans, people were losing big amount of money. Between 1985 to 1995, almost till 2000, the bank interest rates in India were very, very high. To an extent, at some point of time, the FD rates in the bank were to the tune of 14%. Your money used to get doubled within 5 years. During this particular period of time, the returns from the endowment plans of LIC were just around 6%. There is another problem to the story at that time. The problem was, suppose if you had to buy a lakh of rupee insurance, you had to pay a very hefty premium. Nobody would think insurance as a kind of an investment, but rather they would say, if I have to buy a lakh of insurance, how much of premium I have to pay? So these premiums were pretty high. So in the bargain, people were neither buying sufficient insurance, nor the money that was there in these plans was working in favor of them. You had better opportunities just by going and keeping this money in the bank. Then why did people buy these plans? The answer is two reasons. One, you never had an alternative and you had only LIC, and LIC was luring people to invest into these particular plans as a tax advantage. Nobody wanted to pay tax. By buying an LIC policy, if people could get a tax exemption, that is the reason why money back policies and endowment plans became very, very popular. During this particular period, it is very safe to say your insurance policies neither earned you good returns nor they were able to help you with good amount of insurance cover, because to buy the insurance of a required magnitude you had to put in a lot of money. So the insurance policies neither gave you sufficient insurance nor the money worked for you. So the statement, do not combine insurance and investment, holds good for this 50 long years. Then came another phase, the phase which starts from 2000 to 2010. In the year 2000, the insurance sector in India got privatized. It is ICICI which was the first insurance company, followed by several others. SBI, HDFC, and so many others entered the private insurance space. These insurance companies had one set of problem. Nobody believed these private insurance companies. Everybody believed only LIC. It's a government company. It has been there for 50 long years. The agents of LIC were household names. Nobody was prepared to believe these private insurers. They had to do something different. If they tried the same endowment plans, they never had a chance to stand against LIC of India. So they came out with a concept called ULIPs, Unit Linked Insurance Plans. Between 2000 and 2010, these private companies were helped by several factors. Factor number one, the regulators were very kind to them. Regulator was lenient to them. It's not that the regulators did something wrong. It was a nascent industry, it's a new industry. They have allowed the private players to come into the market. The regulator had to be lenient towards them. So regulators allowed leniency to these private insurers, and markets were also very, very kind to these private insurance players. The ULIPs in the initial phase, anybody who invested in these ULIP plans between the year 2000 to 2006 made huge amounts of money. The plans were designed in such a way that whatever the contributions you make, you just keep 5 times more than that as the insurance component. And the massive bull run between 2003 and 2007 made so much of money in these ULIP plans, and everybody forgot the problem which was there in these ULIP plans. A plan which was supposed to have been designed for a long-term investment strategy got designed or got sold as a short-term plans, and there was a massive mismanagement of sales apparatus by insurance companies, and regulators were, as I said, were very, very lenient. Regulators should have taken action much earlier. Between 2008 and between 2010, the investor in the ULIP policies lost huge amounts of money had they withdrawn. But those guys who stayed in the ULIP plans continue to pay into that plan and remain invested for long term, they did make money. But those guys who walked out thinking that these plans are meant for only 3 years of investment lost big time. During this phase 2, the term do not combine insurance and investment is very, very a valid statement. Between 2000 and 2010, when ULIPs came into the market, ULIP was not a bad word, nor it's a bad invention. The problem was the bad design. The problem was bad execution. People did make money, but the investors really did not get this money because of the bad design of the plan. All the gains of the bull markets were eaten away by the charges which has gone to either an insurance industry or to people who are in the sales apparatus. That's how, again, when ULIPs took off, the word, the insurance and investment should not be combined, again gained ground. Between 2000 and 2010, there is one more revolution that was happening. This revolution was with respect to mutual funds. On one side, ULIPs were gaining ground. On the other side, mutual fund was taking roots in India. The mutual funds which were on offer didn't have the same problem that of a ULIP. It did not have the huge expense structure of the ULIPs. The mutual fund industry and its sales apparatus needed a catchy slogan to promote the mutual funds. And this slogan, do not combine insurance and investment, came handy to all the mutual fund sales operators. That's how it was promoted by them. But actually, mutual fund distributors did one good thing to the insurance industry. What is that they did good? They promoted term insurance than anybody else. The only reason why mutual fund distributors promoted term insurance was they wanted to kill the ULIP plans. They wanted to promote the mutual funds. Rightfully, they did this, and to compensate for the loss of insurance, they said term insurances are going to be cheaper and it's a good idea to combine mutual funds and a term insurance. And they gave a valid statement and it stuck in the minds of people. It's not that the mutual fund industry was saintly. There were problems there also. There also the mutual fund distributors used to churn the funds. They used to do all kinds of wrongdoings, and regulators came heavily on the mutual fund industry also. There also the industry evolved itself and it has become much cleaner industry today. And this slogan of do not combine insurance and investment made the industry of insurance also to reinvent itself. In the year 2010, starting October 2010, the new regulations in the ULIP space came into existence, where several changes were made. Caps were put on the charge structure. The number of years a person has to pay has been increased. Amount of insurance that should go into the plan has also been increased. So the industry, which had all the problems of the past years, a decade long between 2010, has been cleared by the new regulations which came in the year 2010. Post the year 2010, the ULIPs started becoming cleaner products. Simultaneously, market started accepting term insurance as an acceptable means of insurance. It's not that the term insurance was not there in the earlier years. Even during the time of LIC, they had a term insurance, but it was just not selling. Even between 2000 and 2010, there was term insurance, but it was not selling. Thanks to the mutual fund distribution force, they popularized term insurance as an acceptable form of insurance. The period between 2010 and 2020 is a period of evolution both for insurance industry as well as for the mutual fund industry. This is a time where tax rules got changed. Till 2018, investing in equity funds of the mutual funds were tax free. In 2018, equity mutual funds started coming under capital gains tax, and the profits that you could make in these plans came under a 10% capital gains regime. Whereas even today, the ULIP plans are tax free provided you have 10 times of the insurance in the plan than the amount of premium that you are paying. If you are paying ₹1,00,000 as a premium, if the insurance is 10 lakhs and above, then the maturity proceeds under ULIPs or any insurance plan is tax free. Even the traditional endowment plans of insurance companies went through the change. Earlier, people used to calculate the premium based on the level of insurance that is required. If people needed ₹1,00,000, they used to come back and calculate how much of premium that they have to pay. Instead, these days, the endowment plans went through a change. They just got designed as the investment product. If somebody wants to put ₹1,00,000 or ₹5,00,000, at 10 times of that amount has to be there as an insurance component to get them the tax break. Again, this changed the endowment insurance. What was at one point of time a problematic insurance, the endowment plans also started becoming very attractive after 2018. The ULIP plans became attractive because they were tax free compared to the mutual funds. They have become cost efficient due to the new regulations, and the old system of believing that do not combine insurance and investment no longer holds good. Today, you have got ULIP plans and they enjoy a very good tax arbitrage. You have got endowment plans which will generate almost the same as bank fixed deposit but will not come under taxation. When you have so much of a benefit, it is not correct on our part just to blindly assume that do not combine insurance and investment. Today, insurance industry is competing both with the banks as well as with the mutual fund industry. How is it competing? Now let's look at the endowment plans. There are several from ICICI, HDFC and every private insurers. These are generating almost the same rate of bank rate of return. Plus they are giving the tax advantage. You keep this money in the bank, the interest that you get from these bank deposits will become taxable. Whereas you keep the same money through the insurance companies, invest on a yearly RD basis kind of a plans through endowment plans itself, they will become tax free. If I give you two of these options, which will generate you the same rate of return, on one you have to pay tax and on another you don't have to pay tax, tell me your answer, which one will you choose? Just because of some statement, will you go and say, put this money in the bank and pay the tax? Or if there is an option given to you to save the tax, what do you do? That's what the general public is doing. They are realizing that it's not a waste of money to put money in the endowment plans of the insurance companies. You have to choose the right product. You have to make your necessary calculation. Wherever your calculations say there is a tax arbitrage, I can save something out of it. I am not losing any returns from that. You can make safe assumption and you can invest money in such plans. On the other side, ULIP plans are also competing with their mutual funds on shoulder to shoulder. Now, the maturity proceeds in a ULIP plan are 100% tax free, whereas the maturity proceeds in a mutual fund plan comes with a 10% capital gains tax. If you are investing a small amount of money, it may not be a big difference you will feel. But if you are a person who is investing large amounts of money for your retirement purpose, this creates a huge tax arbitrage. The cost structure of ULIPs has also been brought down. In most cases, the cost structure of ULIPs is lesser than the mutual funds regular schemes. So there is an arbitrage which is available in ULIP plans, provided you pick up the right types of ULIP plans, you make your due diligence, you find correct answers and think whether it is right for you or not. After due diligence, if you buy the ULIPs, they can give you much better tax adjusted return than the mutual funds itself. In fact, some time back, I had done one video called Are ULIPs Really the Bad Plans? I will give a link for this video here. You can check out on this video as well. Dear viewers, the purpose of this video is not to wean you away from the mutual funds and the term insurance. That's not my purpose. Even today, if you need large insurance, there is nothing else which can replace term insurance. Still, it is the best form of insurance. Mutual funds are evergreen as usual. They can be used by any age group of people. Any amount of money can come under the mutual funds. There is no problem. But there are other advantages in the insurance industry as well. In the first 50 years of insurance industry in this country, people bought insurance for the sake of saving on the taxes. They compromise return. Today you can still save the taxes by using the insurance product, but you don't need to compromise your return. The endowment plans have evolved so much, they give almost the same rate of return of bank FDs, but you don't have to pay taxes. Likewise, ULIPs give the same rate of return as that of the mutual fund and you don't have to pay taxes. Now it is left for you to decide should you use these avenues to save on the taxes without compromising your return potential. I leave the decision in your best hands. If you are a person who is confused, all that I would say is walk into the office of a financial planner and ask him these questions. He will help you to arrive at the best possible decision for you. Dear viewers, I am a financial planner. If you are looking for the services of a financial planner to help you in your financial planning exercise, you can make best use of my services. I have shown my contact number here on the screen. You can reach to me from any part of the world through a WhatsApp message. What is my business model? What are the services that we provide? I had done a video sometime before. I will be giving a link to this video here in the cards. Please make sure you check on this video and know about all the services that we provide before you contact me. Dear viewers, if the information that I have given in this video is useful to you, please like this video. If you are watching this program for the first time or if you are yet to subscribe for the channel, please hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon. Don't forget to share this video with your near and dear ones. Thank you very much for watching this episode on NRI Money Clinic. I will be back with you with one more video and one more topic very soon.
Press the bell icon for more details and subscribe our channel.